to ask you out before we get into the big game on Saturday is there's an incident that's had a lot of conversation on my show, talk shows all around the country. Incident that happened over the weekend down at Texas Tech with Marcus Smart. I know you've seen the video. What was your take on that exchange and what happened down there at Texas Tech with Marcus Smart and the fan there that was sitting courtside?
Well, I think it's an extremely unfortunate incident, and it's one that you never want to see that happen. But in a way, it's good that it happened because it's created a conversation and hopefully the impetus behind some positive change. Because the reality is there's a lot of fans that are out of control, and there's a lot of fans that think that because they buy a ticket, they can say anything they want to student athletes. I mean, if you think about it, Greg, what other situation in life would a 40-something-year-old man be able to say anything he wants to an 18 to 22-year-old young man, and there'd be no retaliation, no response, no anything? Now, don't get me wrong, Marcus Smart crossed the line. He was wrong. He should have kept playing. He should have focused on his game and his team instead of pushing that fan. But he's a human being, and you know, certain things are said to human beings, certain things are done to human beings. There's going to be an emotional response, particularly during a highly contested game, an emotional game like that one was. I can tell you from experience, there's been things that have been said to me and to our team at road games that are just flat out over the line. And in fact, you know, we recently had a road game where there was a comment made about one of our players' moms to one of our players that was absolutely classless. And just for a second, you know, we talk about Marcus Smart, but just for a second, my reaction was to turn around and go after this guy. But then I just caught myself, well, the game's going on. I need to coach the game. But you said that? Like, there's no way. So I think there needs to be some things done just to let people know, particularly those folks that are sitting right on the court and right there within those first few rows. Hey, every school has this disclaimer, this pronouncement. We will not accept sexist, racist, homophobic, any unsportsmanlike. Okay, well, back it up.
Enforce it.
Yeah, back it up. And if someone is crossing the line, then they got to go. And I believe in great fans. I believe in fans that passionately support their team. We're fortunate here at VCU to have so many of them, and they make our home atmosphere what it is, and they make our home court advantage what it is. But I do not believe in embarrassing kids. I do not believe in anyone crossing the line. And I haven't even brought up, you know, what was potentially said there at Texas Tech. You know, I thought what Desmond Mason said was very, very powerful. Desmond Mason's a former player at Oklahoma State that's been in the NBA for a long time, probably about 6-7 years. And he said this. He said, first of all, Marcus Smart was wrong. He should not have pushed that player. He should not have put his hands on that guy. He should have focused on his team. Secondly, every time I went to Lubbock, Texas, I was called the N-word. Every time. So that kind of gives you, and it's happened to us. So that gives you an indication of, like, that is crossing the line right now, and that cannot happen. And it just makes sense to at least empathize with someone and understand there's going to be an emotional reaction when certain things are said.
Yeah, I don't think there's, and unfortunately, it's happened far too often. More and more, it's happening more and more frequently.
Well, again, I think there's a misconception on the part of certain people that, and at the NBA level, it's bad too. And this is what caused that fight several years ago.
The malice in the palace,
with the Pistons and the Pacers. People going up in the stands. I mean, that was crazy. But it starts with sometimes folks saying things that, again, in any other walk of life, I mean, can you think of any other time? Church, school, out on the street. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. So you can say whatever you want, and you think because it's a sporting event you can get away with it. Well, I think that's something that needs to be addressed. I think the NCAA, the conferences, and the individual schools have a responsibility to protect student athletes, and they need to step up.
Well said.